Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you how to make this fun little box. I call it a top-tied gift box, and we're going to use the Paper Florist Dies. I'm going to give you some hints and tricks on some things you can use with the Paper Florist Dies, and I have quite a few other ideas for these dies, so I will be making some more videos for you. And of course, I've got the black and white gingham ribbon, and I decorated this box with the delightfully eclectic designer series paper. This is really kind of a fun little box. Here, I'll show you. I opened it up. I left a lot of extra ribbon so that it could be opened, and you could definitely throw something in there, you know, a little gift. Could be some candies, could be chocolate, maybe a pair of earrings. You could put them in a little tissue and put that in the box. And I don't know if you can hear, but it's thundering a little bit right now. So hopefully that won't create a problem for the video. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Linda Edwards. I'm going to set that aside. These are some of the dies we're going to use. And I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Crafty Heron Designs. And these are the directions, all the information you need for this box. I will have this information on the video description. So if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, it'll be down below. And if you are watching and you like what you see, a thumbs up really helps people find me. So I would appreciate any comments or responses, thumbs up, likes, whatever, so that other people can find me. So we are going to start with, I started with a fresh Freesia base, and it is cut at 8.5 by 5. And then you'll need a scrap for die cutting. And I did do all the die cutting already. That's the one of the dies from the Paper Florist Dies. These are the dies that I'm using for this. You can see you get 4 petals out of there. So a scrap for die cutting, and then you need 2 pieces of basic black, and these are cut at 3 1/8 by 2 5/8. And then this is the paper that I used for the Delightfully Eclectic, and that's going to layer on top of the black. So that's cut at 3 inches by 2.5 inches, and that's for the front and the back. And then basic white, you need a scrap for die cutting, and that's about 3 1/2 or 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. And then you need a couple of scraps of Granny Apple Green, and you'll see I cut out 3 of this leaf here, and 1 of this one. These are the dies that I used, but again, I've cut them out already. And then you just need a little piece of black. You could actually just die cut it out from the center of the layering piece, and this is just the center of the flower. And the dies come with 2 of these. So that's basically what you need. I also used the Very Best Trio Punch, and I'm going to give you a clue to make sure that you get the corners punched properly. And just a regular hole punch, just from an office supply store. And then I did use the little butterflies, the brushed brass butterflies, and the adhesive sparkle gems. And you've got a couple of different options. I really like these. I used the black on the first one, but maybe I'll try it with the gold. We'll see what you think. So I'm gonna move this aside, and I'm gonna bring in, let's start with the basic box. Let me move all that out of the way. I made a template for myself. I find that's the best way for me to manage when I make either a fun fold card or a box, and I put all the measurements on it, and then I've got it. And we are making this box in my card class, and this is a great way for people to really know what you want them to do. So I've got the basic card base, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let me set that off to the side. I use the trimmer or the scoring board, but you can use, you know, whatever you like. So the first thing you do is you put your piece in. I'm going to do it this way. And the 8.5, the long side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. you're going to score at 3 3/4. And I will tell you, one of the things that can happen with the scoring board is sometimes it jumps the groove. So one of the things I found that is if I hold my fingers, I make sure that this part of my hand and my fingers are on the board when I bring it through. So this one is at 4 1/2, and I find I'm less likely to jump the board. And this one is at 3 3/4. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 3 3/4, 4 1/2, and 7 3/4. And then I'm going to turn it. And now we're going to score on the short side. And I'm scoring actually, 3/4 inch here. I'm sorry, I did it this way. So 3/4 inch. Whoops, see what happened when I didn't have it down? 3/4 inch, and then you go to 3 3/4. Mine was already scored, so that's why. It won't matter for you which way you turn it. And then 4 1/4. Okay? So then it's got all the score lines on it. So let me set that aside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have to do some cutting, and I'm going to bring my template in so that you can see how we cut. So I like to cut the bottom first. As you can see, I'm going to turn this so that I know it's the same direction as my template, because the left side has the 1/2 inch and the right side has the 3/4 inch on it. So I'm going to start, and this is pretty standard for any box. I'm going to do a little wedge cut, and I'm only cutting to that first, I'll put my glasses on so I can see, to that first score line. And then I'm going to cut a little wedge there. You can see I'm going to that first score line, and I'm going to do the same thing all the way across. And that's creating those little flaps. And you can adjust and adapt this box to be thicker or thinner depending on what you're planning to put into it. And this one, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to cut. Oh, shoot, I did that wrong, didn't I? All right, I'm sorry. That's okay, that's not going to be a problem. But this needs to be this way, not the double. Again, not a problem. We're not going to have an issue with that. But turn your card over so that this is on the left and only one of the score lines is on the bottom. It happens. You might find you're in the middle of doing something and we make mistakes, right? So I'll show you how to get out of it. So this won't be a problem. That's what happens when I talk and craft at the same time. Do you have that? So this is why I figured that out, because this small end is supposed to be this little wedge. And when I went to do it, I realized, oh no, that's supposed to go like that. And that one is going to go there, and it's going to come all the way to the end. So that piece gets cut. I'm going to turn it so that you can see now that I'm holding it this way. Can you see that? So this piece is done there. I've got that one on the edge. I did that piece. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come all the way down on both sides. And then we're actually just cutting this top part off. That's why it wasn't an issue. And I am going to wedge that just a little bit after I cut that. So I'm basically just cutting it at or close to the score line. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Go all the way to the end. Cut off right at the score line, and then create just that little bit of a wedge. Okay, there we go. So that's all the cutting, and now we want to punch these corners. And you can see how I put this little arrow here, and then again on this side, so that it gives you a clue how you're going to punch this. So I'm using the Very Best Trio Punch, and it has 3 different edges, but because this one is kind of an asymmetrical punch, it actually, you get a different look depending on which way you punch that. Here, I actually made a, I saw this from somebody else did this. I thought it was a great idea. and it kind of gives you an idea of the different corners and what the punch can do. So I can select, see how this corner is rounded here and it's arced here. So you get a different look with that punch. So this is the corner that I want to use. And so I'm going to actually show you one other little, here. I actually did this. This is the corner that I want to use. This is how I know that, okay, that's what I want. So I want to make sure that I'm using the right one, right? So that kind of slides in there and fits right like that. So if I tried to do it, obviously it's not going to fit that way, right? And that, of course, I know is just the straight line. So when I did my original plan, I thought, okay, I need like a little template so that I know I've just got this. So that's what I want to do. And those are the arrows that are going to go there. So set that aside. The first thing I'm going to do is this left side punch. And see, I did it the wrong way. There we go. See, this one is the solid, or the like a little hole. So you can't, it won't work, right? So this punch, let me go ahead and put it in, and I'm pushing it all the way to the edge so that it's firm. And I did create a little wedge, that won't matter. Pressing it to this corner, and then just punch. There we go. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. See how I did that there? So I'm going to do the same thing, put this side in. You kind of have to get these out of the way a little bit, but it will work just fine. Just press the little corner, press it into the corner, make sure that you've got both corners in there, and there you go. You get a nice clean edge. The Band-Aid's getting in the way. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to turn it over. Remember how I showed you I did that? To do the other side, to get it to be a mirror image, I have to turn it over. So once again, pushing it in all the way to the corner, getting the little flap out of the way, pushing it in all the way to the corner. There we go. Get those little guys out of the way. And there you can see this is going to be the top edge of my box. So now we get to the assembling part. I'm going to move that out of the way. We'll assemble the box. I'm not going to assemble it all the way, but I'm trying to think. So we know we're going to want, we're going to use the tear and tape. You can use liquid glue. Let's go ahead and fold and burnish our edges. I wanted to wait to do that until I had that punching done. And then fold and burnish. Go ahead and fold all of your sides. That. Okay. Other direction. And here. So our box is going to go together like this. See how that little tab is going to go on the inside of the box. So that's the first thing that we're gonna assemble. So I'm gonna fold that over and I'm gonna put my tear and tape on there. Just a little piece of that. I kind of close to the edge so that I get a good. Oh, my nail's not gonna. Since I got that Band-Aid on, I shaved off a piece of my thumb with a grater. I was grating Parmesan cheese and got a little too close, and keeps opening. It's not horribly painful or anything, but it kind of does get in the way. Before I do that, let's go ahead. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to just do that. See? So I'm folding it on this half. So you see you got two folds. Before you take it off, kind of look at it, see how that's going to go. Looks like it might be over a little, so I might try and get it really close. It'll be fine. That's going to face the back. Okay, there we go. So you just close it over. and it's assembled. And then the other pieces are just going to be in, these two will go in, and then these two. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and put the designer series paper on it. So let's bring those in. So I just layered. You can see this has two sides. It's got a black and white side, and it's got the fresh Freesia side. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and use the fresh Freesia, but you could use this designer series paper and then just do a different background, and that would be really fun. You could do any color you want if you did it all in black and white. I thought that would be really pretty too. I'm kind of partial to the fresh Freesia. So it's a pretty tight fit, just about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then this one, same thing. And there is a front and a back on the box. It's not terribly important, but if you want kind of a nice, neat appearance, I will show you. The back, this is where I folded. Can you see that little seam there? So that's going to be the back of my card, of my box. And I think I'm going to put that one on the back, because it doesn't have as many flowers. This one's got all 3 flowers on it. So I think I'm gonna leave that one for the front. Put that one on the back. So if you've got a pattern that you are using, you know, you just use whatever you've got. If you've got a pattern that you're using, you can go ahead and, let's see, do I want it that way? I think I want it that way. You go ahead and decide which side you want to put it on. There we go. Okay, so that's the back. Make sure, yes, there's my back. And there's my front. Let's see, do I want that on the bottom? No, I think I want it to be like that. Here, I'll show you. I'm looking at my page because, see, this is where I put my flower up on the upper left corner. So I'm like, well, this one you don't really see that white flower down there, so I think that's what I'd like. Of course, on the other hand, this one would be visible. Oh, maybe I'll do it that way. It's probably not going to really matter that much, right? Sometimes overthink it. All right. And I certainly could move where I'm doing the decorating of my flower, right? Okay, there you go. So now we're going to assemble the box. Oh no, before I do that, I have to cut my... Put these two together, and I'm going to do the holes, the hole punch. Now, I did not really... I'm kind of making it close. I'm not really too concerned that it's exactly in the middle, but I'm just trying to make a good faith effort. Just put those two there. All right, so that's going to be the top of the box. So the bottom, all I have to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive right there. And then, because this is the front of my box, I want that flap to go backwards. I'm going to push that in a little bit. Close that. And now I'm going to put a little more adhesive on this part of the box. And you could use tear and tape, but I kind of like having a little bit of wiggle room that the liquid glue gives me. Putting my hand in the box, pressing it down, kind of making sure it's square. Can you see the inside there? I'm going to take my bone folder and just press it down so that I get a good solid adhesion with the glue. There we go. And that's it. Your box is done. You could just finish. You could stop right there, put a little ribbon in it, and it's good to go. So for the second half of the video, I'm going to show you how to make this fun flower. So let's set this aside. We'll need a little glue. So one of the things that I did, much like I did with the Very Best Trio Punch, is I put together a cheat sheet for myself. So this Paper Florist Dies comes with flower petals, and the pink are all the flower petals. I used some retired paper. This This is Blushing Bride. I had to think for a minute, what was the color? This is Pear Pizzazz. These are the leaves, so I made them green, so remember they're leaves. And then this is the yellow, are the flower centers. I thought, well, a lot of flower centers are yellow, so that'll help me remember that those are the pieces that will make up the flowers. And you could make so many different flowers. I have just started. I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna do some fun things, maybe hold some classes with making these flowers, and there's so many different things you can do. So let's go ahead and bring in the pieces that I already cut. So I cut 3 of these, 1 each of these, and I cut this one and nope, this one. Those are the pieces that I used for this particular flower. So there they are. And of course, you know, I've had some extras, and I've started already like a little stash for myself with the extras. So let's see, I need a little piece of scrap paper. I don't know what I did with my, what I really should be using is my silicone mat, but I don't know where I put it. So we'll use the scrap paper instead. Let's see. So this piece is the little flower buds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them in like this. So there's a large one, you just, one die, cuts them all out. There is kind of a front and a back. You can kind of see the edge there is the back. And I think, you know, it doesn't really matter, these 2 sizes, because they're about the same. So what I'm going to use is just going to start with just the center one. I'm just putting a dot, dot of glue on the back of that. And then I'm going to just set that right there on top of there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I just want to make sure that you don't really see the fresh freesia behind the green. Kind of move that over. Again, I like the liquid glue because it does give you a little bit of time to move that piece if you need to. There. Move that one over a little bit. Okay, so you can see on the back. Set that one aside. That's the first flower we're making. And then the second flower is, you know, very straightforward. So I'm going to take, I've got the petals. So you get 4 of these, 2 small and 2 large. And I just used the large ones. I had to kind of double check. What did I do? Yep. I used the large ones. I'm going to curl them a little bit. I am holding them in the center so that I don't tear them. Just using my thumb to give them a little bit of a curl. You can curl them up or you can curl them down. I decided I wanted them to curl up. So these are just going to be offset like that. So I'm going to just put a dot. You could use, if you did a glue dot, it would give it a little more dimension. So just another option for you. And then I've got this die comes with, again, 4. I'm using the smaller of the 2, so I'll have those left over for another project. And again, kind of curling those. I'm having trouble with my thumb. And I'm going to just put a little dot in the center. And I went ahead and just kind of offset these so that the cross is, let me see here. You can use your tweezers so that the cross is equal to the back petals. And I'm going to do the same thing here, and it'll be offset from the other cross. Okay. There we go. And then I just brought in this little starburst kind of thing and put him right. Oh, wait a minute, that one moved. Maybe I didn't get enough adhesive on it, so let's try that again. You might need to let it dry a little bit. Give it a good press as you put it together. And then this one, I think I'm gonna do kind of, again, just the same way I've been offsetting all the others. There we go. Okay. And then it's basically just assembling it on the card. So once again, I'm gonna curl my leaves so that they curl up a little bit. And actually only the ends are gonna show. There's my third one. Uh-oh, I lost one. I know I had 3. Well, I guess maybe I'll just be doing 2 this time. No worries. Don't you hate when that happens? Make sure this is the back. Okay. So I know I want that one to be over there. Let's lay it all out and see. Maybe I'll just put this one right in the center. And then this guy there. What do you think? Maybe they're kind of go like that. See, you can kind of just play around and decorate it. I'll do it that way. So now that I've got them kind of lined up, I'm going to just put my adhesive kind of there and lay that out. Because I'm not, you know, sending it through the mail like a card, it's okay if it comes outside of the base of the box. As a matter of fact, I kind of like the fact that it does that. I think it just gives it a little more interest. And I'm just using regular liquid glue on these, and then kind of pressing it down. And I am going to put a dimensional on the flower. Just give it a little more. Oh, there's the third one. Oh, good grief. It must have just been layered on top of it, huh? Well, let's see. I guess I could put that one there. Again, the beauty of liquid glue. Let me move that over a little bit. And go ahead and put that third one there. Out of the way. And flower right there. And then we'll bring in maybe, let's see, we did the butterflies. I just love these brushed brass butterflies. I just think they're so pretty and they're so subtle. They're great on cards because they're so flat. And I just thought, you know, butterflies need to be around a flower. So my little adhesive just came off of there. But my take your pick tool to the rescue. There we go. This one, I'm gonna put him there. I think I'll just leave it like that. And then let's try one of the larger. Try the gold this time. It kind of echoes the gold of the butterflies. What do you think? Last but not least, I bring in my ribbon. This is the black and white gingham ribbon. I just thought that was so pretty. And just push that all the way through on either side. And give it a nice pie. We're done. So what would you, if you made this, who would you give it to? And what will you put in it? I think I'm gonna save this for my mother and give it to her with a little gift. You know, you could even put a gift card in it. Give it to her for her birthday. What do you think? She's not online, so she won't know that I'm doing this for her. It'll still be a surprise. There we go. Fix that bow, and here comes the ring. You can hear it. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope that you do something fun with your day today, and that you use the Paper Florist dies and create something special for a loved one in your life. And let me know, what do you think, the gold or the black? I like them both. Gold's a little showier, but black's kind of cool too. Thanks for joining me. My name is Linda Edwards with Crafty Heron Designs, and I hope to see you again soon. I do put videos together about once, I try to do it about once a week. You can follow me on all the socials at Crafty Heron Designs, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. Take care and have a great rest of your day.